welcome back to another Models by me. This time we'll be looking at Academy's 1/72nd scale Grumman Avenger. Sorry this video is a little late, been suffering from a cold, and my voice has suffered because of it. It's still a little croaky now. So, no time like present, let's get on and have a look at this model. So we'll do this in the usual manner. We'll have a look at the outside of the box, then the contents, and the instructions, and finally the sprues. So a little bit of history on the Avenger. It first flew in 1941, August of 1941, and was put into active duty at the end. Coincidentally, there was a factory or manufacturing plant that was purposely built just for the Avenger, and it was open to the public. It was, well, not open to the public, it was on display to the public on the 7th of December 1941. For those that are not specifically aware of that date, that was Pearl Harbor. That was the infamous attack where the Japanese took out a fair bit of the American fleet while it was still stuck in harbour, forcing the US into the Second World War, officially. So the Avenger did take part in Midway. 6 of them were able to be shipped over and took part in the battle, and pretty much like all torpedo bombers during that event, or that battle, only one of them came back. One of the things I was looking at is that torpedo bombers this included the Devastators that this thing was meant to replace. They really suffered badly, mixture of both flak and enemy aircraft, and well, when you look at the size of this thing, it's the heaviest plane, heaviest single-engine plane at fort. It definitely outclassed the P-47 Thunderbolt. It was successful in, I believe it was successful at least, in anti-submarine warfare. And one of the President, or future President, George H.W. Bush, actually flew this thing as well. Commissioned as the youngest naval aviator at the time. So, yeah, there's a little bit of claim to fame. It was used by most of the Allies during the Second World War, and eventually was retired in the 1960s. It was lightly armed, though got heavier. And when I say got heavier, it had 2 forward-firing 50 caliber machine guns. That was the heavier option. The lighter option was a single 30 caliber machine gun firing through the nose, like most other things at the time, or most other pre-war aircraft were doing. So, but it did have a couple of extras. So you had the top gunner and the rear gunner there, to give it a little bit of you could say they're probably more emotional support guns rather than actual defensive things, especially when you throw zeros at this thing. So that's a little bit of history on this. There's quite a bit involved with the Avengers. I say only a brief bit of history. Let's go on with the outside of the box. Thank you, title card. Right, so we've got nice artwork of the Avenger doing, actually doing what's supposed to be, dropping its torpedoes. Not sure what battleship it's in the background. I know it's read up it was used against the Yamato, but this is definitely not the Yamato. The side guns are completely wrong for that. But I'm not quite sure what that battleship is supposed to be. Sorry, I know planes well, and I know tanks fairly well. Battleships, with the exception of the odd few, Hood, Bismarck, and Yamato being about as much as I know. Yeah, that's about it. Anyway, a little sidetracked. So, 172nd United States Navy torpedo bomber TBF-1. Also TBM. It depends on who the manufacturer was. Was it Grumman or General Motors? And I think F was General Motors. TB, torpedo bomber. A little bit down here, paint and glue not included. Actual project may be different from the picture shown on the box. Academy, and they're celebrating their 50 years of making models. So, yeah, nice artwork on the front. So let's have a look at the side. There we go. Can't get it all in one shot again. So fully engraved panel lines and rivet details. That's nice. Detailed cockpit and landing gear. Yeah, I have seen the instructions. I've already opened this one before. And yep, there was some detail in there. Authentic markings included. As opposed to fantasy markings. So, nice representation of the actual model itself. I think the panel lines they've done are a bit too dark for contrast. Don't know, but they've done a nice bit of weathering over the wing there. That can't quite. There you go. No reflections out of the way. Landing gear doesn't look too bad either. So, what we've got on the side here? So, we got sticker, £9. Yes, that cost me £9. Got the box art, the front box art on the side again, so that's quite nice. Academy gives you a slight clue of what you're buying. This side, we got same picture again. Contains one fully unassembled kit, easy to follow instructions, paint and cement. I always love how they call it cement and not glue. Wait, they called it glue up here, didn't they? Glue and paint not included, and yet here it is paint and cement. Interesting. There you go, if you want to read it in those various different languages. Made in Korea. Okie dokie. Didn't know Academy was a Korean. Good. Intended for collectors, 14+ age. For age 14 and up, and then 14 up there. Yeah, we can read this bit. What's this bit for? Anyway, this side. They did this. So I like it when model manufacturers do this. So, okay. So you got the front box art on the side. You got the product code. That was around as well. What it is, a little bit more actually here than it was on the other side. But if you want to display the box on the shelf this way, you can clearly and easily see it. Equally, if you want to display the boxes this way around, again, you can clearly easily read it. And the underside of the box is a box. Contents, let's have a look at this thing. So, let's open him up. We have instructions. I'll look at those later. Check with part list before unsealing. They will not replace the parts. They will not replace the sprue if you've already opened it. So that's handy. So I'm guessing within the first page here, we have instructions. There is no part list, you lied to me. So we got bag 1, with huge large, and flying stand. This has a flying stand in it. Clear plastic. The wings. Plus landing gear. What have we got in here? We got decals. not a lot. How to apply decals and guide for beginners. So use the snips to snip them off, or use a knife. Tweezers for all the delicate stuff. Scissors to be used to open the plastic bags or to cut designated part of decal. Okay. Well, if you're a beginner, then yes, that's probably even quite handy. If you're experienced model maker, or you had an experienced model maker teach you how to make models, useless bit of paper. But for beginners, yeah, it's handy. Even Airfix don't do something like that, and they're supposed to be beginner friendly. Warning. You can pause and read this, I ain't going to read it all out. There we go. And finally, the empty box. Warning, they will not stay off screen. Instructions. Read this before you begin. Okay, so what we got? We've got the box art again, so we've got all the various bits and pieces that you're going to need to know. So let's bring this up so you can actually read them. And the camera focuses on the line. So we've got the cement parts, do not cement, aka glue parts, or do not glue. Repeat, decal, add weight. I can't see what the one on the end is because the button to stop the recording's over it. Use filler. Okie dokie. Cut away, optional parts, which I don't think there's any in this kit. Oh yeah, landing gear. Repeat for the opposite side and make a hole. Be careful. Painting scheme number. I'll give you a clue. There's only one. But it's handy, it's there. It's just copying, clearly a copy and paste job. But let's have a look at the instructions. Where we start with the cockpit. Ooh, it has a pilot. We can do the jelly baby test. So, okay, this is where it gets really weird, Academy. What parts am I painting what? They've done it a little bit here where they say, okay, that's white. Black, yellow, grey, or dark grey specifically with yellow tips. Okay. It's quite interesting. It tells you that the outer ring, outer ring of the cowling must be yellow, and yet in the paint guide it tells you it's yellow again there anyway. Oh, okay. A little bit sidetracked, but it's like, what's being painted? What colour here? Okay. Okie dokie. Anyway. So we've got the pilot seat, and then that'll be navigator or bomb aimer. I know there's a video. It's a 3-man crew, so you got clearly the pilot. I'll just bring this one up. You got the pilot here. You got like navigator, radio operator here, and I think the bomb aimer understand down here, or one could be the navigator. This was a 4-man crew. Just double checked. It is a 3-man crew, so I believe he would jump out, uncomfortably jump out, and then man one of the 2 machine guns. So anyway, so we've got the pilot and the cockpit section. We've got the, I'm going to just refer to this as the navigator section. Yeah, I'll refer to this bit as the navigator from future. It could be the radio operator, but or I'm going to refer to it as the navigator and pilot. Landing gear if you want it down. Then we got the propeller bit. So do not glue if you want spinny bit. A little bit misleading, so I'll get the finger out of the way. So it's a little bit misleading because it tells you not to glue this middle bit. But in actuality, what it is, I suppose it's correct. You push that all the way through, and then you put glue on the end here. Once it's all the way through, put glue on the end here, and then stick the propeller on top of that. That's if you want spinny propeller. If you don't want spinny propeller, just glue that straight onto there, wait till the end, and then glue your propeller on so you don't knock it off afterwards. Then we put all the details inside, so we've got pilot, navigator, one of the directional radar things, rear landing gear, whether you want it up or down. Though typically does not tell you how to put it if you want it down. I suppose you just have to angle it downwards if you want it down, maybe. So we've got some clear plastic here as well that needs to go in. Use PVA for this bit, or special clear plastic glue. If you use regular glue, it fogs up. One of the machine guns, that'll be the bottom one, and then the turret. Do not glue the turret into place. But here we go, so we've got the seat, little support beam, and then not fully detailed interior. Yeah, okay. That's supposed to be a 50 caliber machine gun with light support arms and stuff. Note how close the head is to where the action of the machine gun is. Most people would go deaf next to those things. Most people go deaf behind one of those things, let alone next to it. Afterwards, you put the wings on, the propeller, and then the tail surfaces. Then you've got your joist, landing gear up or down, and then another support arm for it down. That's interesting. It shows the P-tail tube is already put on, and yet in the very next instructions it then tells you to glue them on. Confusing. Put on the rear glass for the... Gotta be a radio man, that one. And then, yep, P-tail tubes, the canopy, and the aerial on top. Plus the side bit. Glue that last. Do not glue that on it at all until after you've finished. Reason being is because that goes over this bit, and if you glue it on first, you can't glue around the fuselage bit there, which it covers. Anyway, the paint guide. Dark blue, intermediate, blue, sorry, the blue was hiding under the stop button again, yellow, white, and black. That's the same icon. I think you can establish what bits are supposed to be black on the pictures above and below. What colours are flat finish as opposed to rigid finished? Ripley finished? Creased? Not quite sure what you mean by flat, unless you're referring to as matte. And that's it. Serenity promoting a couple of their extra model kits. SB2C. Another dive, that's a dive bomber actually, that thing. And the Hellcat. I was about to call it a Wildcat, but I remember, nope, it's a Hellcat. Alright, let's have a look at some of the sprues. So I've got the wings out first, so let's have a look at these. So, interior detail for the wings, at least, non-existent. Yep, no detail there whatsoever. The seats are out of focus. There we go. Seats are pretty basic, all three of them. Yeah, this looks basic as anything, doesn't it? It's nice, it gives you that representation. Oh, some landing gear there. How detailed is the landing gear? Don't know, I can't see it because it keeps going. Pretty blocky with a hint of flash. Okay, that'll be for the machine gun. Or the top turret. Landing gear. It gives you a representation. So not too bad. Wings, so let's have a look. So, panel lines. Don't know what happened there, but that's a lot deeper than the rest of the panel lines. Oops, sorry, little jump cut there. So, panel lines are quite shallow. Not too bad. The ailerons. Okay. Got panel lines where probably should be rivet lines. Okay. And then the rest of the panel lines are they're all quite shallow, so it's quite good on the top. Not too bad again. You can just about make out where the folding wing, because this is navy across, so the wing's folded. So you can make out the representation where that's supposed to be if you fancy cutting it and doing that. Unfortunately with this one, I do not. Again, panel lines, again, should probably be rivet lines, being all metal. It's okay, gives you a basic representation. No machine guns, and yet they were wing-mounted machine guns. Other side, which would be the other wing, which is the exact same again. Undercarriage up, so nothing on the inside. Basic detail. Wheels are oh yeah, look at that. For it actually focused when I wanted it to. And look, how come the wheels seem to be the most detailed thing on this kit? Okay, bizarrely. What we got here? Back panel or something. One of the... Really? That's supposed to be a machine gun? Please. If you want detail, get aftermarket. I think that's supposed to be a bit of like extra like runoff bit, not the gun sight. Could be the gun sight. We'll have a look at that in a minute. Tail wheel. Rear 50 caliber machine gun, which is not detailed whatsoever. And the pilot. You might want to get that one checked out by the doctor. Right, let's have a look. Everybody can probably guess that's a jelly baby. Look at that. Has he even got a smile there? Don't know, but yep, that is a jelly baby. Aniseed flavour? Don't know. Let me just get the instructions back out again. So, rear machine gun, there it is. And yeah, there's no bit on the top, so that is a runoff bit, not the gun sight. Conveniently, it would be in the right place, but nope. It's supposed to only be that's only a bit of runoff. Okay, the next two sprues, which is the fuselage. So interior detail on the fuselage, non-existent. Shame. One of the backrests. No detail there. The flying stand. That's missing. Yeah, you wouldn't expect detail there. Oh, we got one of the cockpit sections. Really? Detailed cockpit. I'm also missing something here. Yep, that's the navigator's bit. So that is pretty basic. Oh, we have a little bit of detail. Oh, detail. Yeah, that's the landing wheel covers. Or landing bay covers. Never backrest. Again, nothing there. And the detailed cockpit. You got the rudder pedals, you got the base of the seat, you got what would probably, that would actually be the throttle lever. I don't know about you guys, but I definitely would not call that a detailed cockpit. And why is the ejection pin marks on this side? That's just, you got to fold all that lot flat, and especially that one in the middle, that is just asking for trouble. Have a look at the outside of the fuselage, which again, panel lines. If it's supposed to be fabric covered surfaces, they got that way off. But the panel lines aren't too bad. The access door. There you go, that's what I was saying about this bit. When you're gluing these windows on, do not glue them on until after you painted it. Because that ring basically is where it would go, and you would have these two bits on the side you need to paint first. But the rest of the detail, including the thumbprint, not too bad, quite nicely detailed. Still nothing up there. All the detail for the exterior of the plane. Nothing for the interior. Shame. Big shame. So if you want to have the flying stand, sorry, it was in the instructions, I missed over it. If you want the flying stand put in, you've got to cut out this little slot down here on both sides of the fuselage. And then you can have this wing flying. Right, next bit, the tail surfaces are same again. Not that great, is it? A bit of blemish on the plastic work there. Either that or somebody's hair got mixed in. Interesting. Yeah, not too bad. It's the same again. Ooh. Despite what little of it you can see, that's nice. That's very nice. Nicely detailed engine, and it wasn't a feature. Don't think it was a feature. Panel lines, vivid detail, cockpit landing gear, authentic markings. No, they missed out the detailed engine. Even put the little like the grill in the air vent there. Oh, very nice. Flying stand. Yeah, extremely well detailed, the flying stand. Propeller. Very basic. Very basic. And at least they didn't put it on like that bit. You're just asking for trouble. You're trying to snip that one off, and you're going to take this propeller with you. That one's not too bad. But I might be mistaken, but normally with these type of covers, it's like a step in there. I could be wrong with this particular one, but I'm pretty certain there's normally like a... If you've seen these other ones before, you know what I'm on about. There's normally like a small step in there, and then it'll go down to where the propellers join on. Panel lines on the fuselage again. It's the exact same as the other side. So, yep, nice. Very nice. No door on this side because you can only get on through the other side, not this one. Just to prove, nothing on the interior. Okay, clear plastic. Get out of the bag. And, whoops. Well, it's clear. It is definitely clear plastic. However, let's bring back. Potentially, if you did put any detail on this thing, there's a chance it'll be warped going through the plastic, the clear glass, clear plastic. So, okay. My thoughts on this. So, the rear turret and the cockpit section, they're okay. The panel lines, or the panels, yep, nicely raised, so you could try and paint that with a paintbrush. Probably still use masks on it. It does look quite nice. The underside turret hatch thing, not too bad there. And like I say, again, with the rear turret, quite nice. It's then you get these little side windows and the little blisters on the side. There's that giant air bubble on the middle of them. Air bubble, divot, dimple, whatever you want to call it, you can clearly see it there. I could be just making this could just be just where I'm recording it and the light's reflecting so you can easily see it. Once you probably assemble the model, you ain't going to see it that well. But just the fact it's there kind of bugs me. Plus also noticed, you probably saw me playing this bit just then. It's broken here. So that clearly is not moulded properly. Okie dokie. Let me finish bagging this up, put it all away, and then final thoughts. There you go. So the final thoughts on this. Okay, the plane is the kit itself. So I'm kind of too bagged about this. It says detailed interior or detailed cockpit. No interior, just cockpit. There's a representation. I myself would not call it a detailed cockpit. You could get away with saying detailed engine and landing gear and get away with that. But specifically the cockpit, and I'm like, there's nothing really there. Equally, you gave us a jelly baby for the pilot, but not one for the other two guys. I suppose they didn't know where they were going to sit, so you're just like, yeah. But it's just like, you give us the pilot, but none of the others. Also, a torpedo bomber, and it hasn't even got a torpedo. Then again, I suppose some of the early bombers didn't even give you bombs, so mute point. It does look like it's going to be a nice kit to make. Nice kit. Fairly basic, with room to expand. So if you want to make your own interior to this, great, go ahead. But it's got room for improvement, definitely. I've got a really shaky camera. Stay still. It's quite nice. The detail on the outside is nice. The canopy, the glass, most of it, all's quite nice. The engine's nice. So the panel line's nice. This is clearly more of a beginner's kit. Probably one of like the early beginners kits. Like the Fuma that I said earlier, which minus the instruction problems. Probably not your first kit, but one of the like third or fourth kits. This probably falls in the same line. I'm happy with the Fuma than I am with this thing. It's a bit odd. So, yeah, a bit of a mixed bag, this one. It's going to be a nice kit to make. But, yeah, it's just a bit of an odd one, this one. So, anyway, if you like the video, please hit that like button. Comment if you've made one of these before. Is there any traps or anything to look out for? And hit the subscribe button for more videos. See you on the next one. Thanks, bye.